technology that is built for your every sense. Acer Pure from Acer.
First up on the bulletin, it is a big relief for animal lovers. Well, the Supreme Court on Friday has revised its earlier 11th of August order concerning the management of stray dogs in Delhi and the National Capital Region. In fact, directing that the animals should be returned to the same locations after undergoing sterilization and immunization. However, the court has clarified that stray dogs which are found to be rabid or displaying aggressive behavior will not be released back, and they must be kept in separate facilities. Stray dogs, it says, will be released back to the same area after sterilization, immunization, except those who are infected with rabies or they are exhibiting aggressive behavior. This is the order coming in from the court. Let me go across to Harish Nair, who's joining us. Harish, tell us about the nuances of this order. Of course, dog lovers are rejoicing this Supreme Court verdict, but at the end of it, these dogs are going to be back on the roads, but with riders and, of course, penalties for those feeding them when it's not allowed in undesignated areas.
Yes, that's right, Meghna. The dog lovers are claiming a big victory here, basically because there is a big difference between the August 11 order passed by a bench led by Justice Pardiwala and today's order from a three-judge bench led by Justice Vikram Nath. Because Justice Pardiwala order had said, pick up a dog, shift them to a dog shelter forever, even after vaccination and sterilization. But today's order says, with an emphasis on animal birth control 2023 rules, a compassionate approach, the court says, pick up a dog, sterilize it, vaccinate it, and release it into the same locality. This is going with the perfectly in tune with the animal, birth control rules 2023, which the court has emphasized. The Supreme Court has very clearly said that it will evolve a national policy as far as stray dogs is concerned. Notices have gone to all states and union territories, and all the proceedings pending before High Courts have been transferred to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court also very significantly saying that only dogs afflicted with rabies and aggressive dogs can be permanently shut inside shelter homes, and the bench also saying that anybody who obstructs picking up of dogs or feeds dogs in public shall be proceeded against as per law. Supreme Court emphasized that there shall be designated feeding areas for dogs, stray dogs in every municipal wards. Enough of them should be created, and anybody feeding any dog outside that particular designated feeding area shall be once again legally proceeded against. And as far as capping the number of petitioners before the court is concerned, the court said any individual or NGO who wants to be implemented in the proceedings before the court will have to pay rupees 25,000 to 2 lakhs, and that amount shall be utilized for setting up infrastructure for stray dogs, and also building enough shelters and employing enough personnel for sterilization and vaccination. So these are the highlights of the order.
So these are the highlights, and also the fine details that we must also pay attention to. Do stay on with us, Harish. Let me go across to Shivam. He's joining us from Jantar Mantar, the very scene where we had several protests, people breaking down. But I believe, Shivam, today these tears are for joy.
Of course, Meghna, now you can see relief is what the one word that will be describe them. You can see the smiles on their face. There were tears earlier when this day coming. Now there are slogans being made in this particular place, and you see a sense of positivity, because for them, as they are saying, it was more than 11 sleepless days and nights that have gone on the streets, protesting, raising voices, and now finally the interim direction of the Supreme Court has brought a smile and sigh onto them. And we'll also try and understand from the people here about what is their perspective about this entire issue.
Well, that's a live feed coming in from Jantar Mantar. Seems like there seems to be a bit of a technical problem there. We'll try and reconnect with Shivam. Remember, just here last week we had several protests by animal lovers. They broke down in tears and they said that the Supreme Court's earlier order was completely untenable. Meanwhile, let's get you some of these voices which have been coming in. Shivam has been telling us about the celebrations at Jantar Mantar in Delhi.
सर, इससे बड़ी बात नहीं हो सकती। हम लोग इतने खुश हैं। हम लोग 10-11 दिन से घर छोड़ के सर हम सोए नहीं है सर, हम सोए नहीं है सच में। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा जय श्री राम, सर पब्लिक मीटिंग तो वैसे भी लोग अलाउ नहीं करते थे अपने घर के सामने। अब हम खुश हैं तो कि हमें एक जगह मिल जाएगी और हम बोलेंगे ये हमारे डॉग्स की जगह है। तो लोग अपने घर के सामने वैसे ही नहीं अलाउ करते थे, तो अब ये टाइम है कि हम बताएं कि ये हमारी जगह है और हम खिलाएंगे यहाँ।
बहुत बड़ा रिलीफ, बहुत बड़ा रिलीफ, बहुत बड़ा, मतलब हम एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकते। 10-11 दिन से हम लोग किस ट्रॉमा में जिए, कैसे जिए, कुछ नहीं पता। सिर्फ रोए नहीं सोए। ये मतलब हमारी क्या जीत है, ये तो सत्य की जीत है। ये बच्चों के साथ न्याय कैसे हो सकता था? आप भी समझ सकते कैसे हो सकता था। महादेव के बच्चे, हमारा कल्चर, हमारी सनातन संस्कृति कैसे पॉसिबल था? नहीं था पॉसिबल। और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के डिसीजन का बहुत बड़ा समर्थन करते।
The emotions were running high, emotions have been running high. You can see people here informing their parents, explaining them that finally the struggle of those 10 days have finally come to an end. And we'll also try and understand, try and talk to the people who are doing it. Ma'am, I completely understand that emotions are running high. They have been running high. How do you see this verdict? It has been more than 10 days since you guys were protesting on the roads. How do you see this particular thing? What your first reaction?
Yeah, we haven't slept in last 10 days or eaten properly, and we were expecting for a balanced order because suo motu was not something which was in animals' welfare or as well as human welfare. So right now we are kind of, I don't know, relieved. Right now we are high on emotions. I don't know what to say. Yes.
As they are saying they're high on emotions, they were high on the hopes earlier as well, and there are other people also. You can see explaining people, telling them, trying, dialing people. People are here from different states as well, and we'll also try and understand for people who are organizing this entire thing. We have with us the animal writer. They are also wearing the t-shirts of Save Delhi Dogs. This was a t-shirt that they have been wearing from almost 10 days. Sir, finally the verdict has come. Your first reaction to that?
We are very, very happy. From last 10 plus days, from 11th, we have been doing protests outside Supreme Court, in public places. Even a lot of people have got detained out of it, but we are so happy that it comes out in our favor. All the dogs, all the innocent dogs who got captured by MCD illegally, who are already sterilized and vaccinated, and the order has come that they should be released as soon as possible. Any dog who, if there is any symptom of rabies, then only they will be kept inside. Otherwise, all the dogs will be released. So we are extremely happy, and this is what we needed.
Well, meanwhile, there are others who, however, are not rejoicing. There are people who are not exactly happy with this verdict of the Supreme Court. This is what their fear is. Well, we'll get you some of those reactions also which are coming in. This, remember, right after the Supreme Court came out and revised its order, it has modified the earlier order by saying that there is going to be crackdown only on aggressive dogs, but not on all stray dogs.